Shalom. We are the Isupk coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any religious group, sect, or denomination. We are here to save our people of Negro, Indian, and Hispanic descent. Tonight's class is the Brotherhood class. Now, my question to you, what is a brother? Is it somebody who is born into your family? Is it somebody who basically is from another family or nation that grafts itself in to your people? Or is a brother someone of the same nationality, the same lineage, the same bloodline, the same heritage, has the same history, has the same conditions that you are suffering? Well, let's go to some brotherhood scriptures. First off, give me 1 John 4 and 20. 1 John 4 and 20. Because it's a shame that as many things have befallen our people, we have yet not come together to figure out that's what is going to stop a whole lot of our people being murdered in the street. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is what going to stop people or these other nations oppressing us. Brotherhood is what going to stop the drug use because you care about your brother. When you love your brother, as the Most High in Christ says, a whole lot of our problems will stop. Because that means the enemy cannot come in and beguile you or trick you into doing something against the Most High in Christ. Because why? These other nations don't suffer the curses that we suffer. But because the Most High loves us so much and told us to come together in this time now, that is why a lot of these problems are happening to our people. We're being murdered, we're being put in jail, we're fighting one another, we're hating one another. If you are of Negro, Indian, Hispanic descent, you're supposed to love one another and understand each other's problems. Because if you actually think about what all the 12 tribes are going through, we are suffering the same hell living here in America under the tyranny of our oppressors, the so-called white man, and these other nations who have moved into our neighborhood and profited off of us, making us entertainment, making us sing them their songs, making us do these things that are against God and Christ by celebrating their paganistic holidays, their heathenistic ways. Proverbs 3:31 say, "Envy not thy oppressor." We ain't supposed to be envying these other nations. We are supposed to be protecting one another, loving one another through the brotherhood, the same brotherhood that Christ has shown us and shown the disciples. Give me 1 John 4 and 20.
1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
The scripture say, if a man say, so this man is professing out his mouth, this man is talking all this. It says, if a man say, I love God, so this certain man is saying, I love God, and what?
And hateth his brother.
And you hate your brother, but you claiming out your mouth that you love the Most High. The Most High saying, basically, how can you love me, but yet you hate your brother who I created? The Most High said he is what?
He is a liar.
He is a what?
A liar.
The Most High said you a liar, you a hypocrite. You cannot say that you love the Most High, but you got an evil eye for your brother because he stepped on your shoe, because he might have took something from you, because he might have not had or didn't have the courage or the heart to ask you in love and in brotherhood that could he borrow this. You gonna hate your brother and beat him up, or you gonna strike him down, but yet you saying that you love the Most High and you hated your brother. The Christian church do that 24/7. They in church talk about turn to your neighbor, love that person beside you. But as soon as something happens, the church will turn around like a dog returning to his own vomit and say, oh, I hate that brother. You don't have to love that brother. The Christian preachers and pastors do it all the time. Talk about if a brother offends you, you don't have to talk to that brother no more. You don't have to help that brother. Well, the scripture says if you claiming that you love the Most High and yet hate your brother, you is a what?
A liar.
The Most High is saying that you are a liar. Go ahead.
For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen?
It says, for he that loveth not his brother who he hath seen, you seeing this brother, the same brother every day. He could be biological or not biological, but he of those 12 tribes. How can you say that you love the most high who you have not seen, but yet you claim that you love your brother who you have seen every day? This certain brother is chilling with you. He at camp with you. He maybe living in the same household as you. This brother loving you unconditionally, but yet because of one incident, you hate that brother. How can you be like Christ or claim you Christ-like, and yet in the churches, it's nothing but hate and degradation there? It's nothing but hypocrisy in the churches. Why do you think our people are not getting the knowledge, wisdom, or understanding in these churches and yet hating each other? You got sisters in the churches talking about one another, being backstabbers. All of that you can find out in Romans 1:25 to 32. Talk about men loving of themselves, sisters hating one another, backstabbers, idolaters, up there in the churches. So the answer ain't in the church, because why? They cannot tell you how to love your brother. But here in our Isupk, we teach how to love one another according to the scriptures and according to truth. If you coming out your mouth saying you love the Most High but hate your brother, you are a liar. And he that loveth not his brother who has seen, you seeing that brother every day, but yet you have not seen the face of the Most High. You cannot profess that. Because why? You got your eye evil towards your brother for a little simple incident that you can solve in probably 15 minutes if you learn how to love your brother and be apologetic. Read on.
Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him.
And this commandment have we from him. The him is talking about the Most High. This commandment is talking about an order coming from the Most High. Go ahead.
That he who loveth God love his brother also.
This commandment is an order. If you love the Most High, you're going to love your brother also. Because why? The Most High has created your brother. Because why? Can two walk together unless agreed? That is a defense tactic. If you up here chilling with your brother and you dealing with him in the Most High and Christ in truth and in spirit, and you love your brother unconditionally, that's going to have a lot of defense against these other nations. Because if you got somebody of another nation trying to walk up on you and trying to harm your brother, what you going to do? You're going to jump to your brother's defense, and y'all going to be very powerful. Because why? It's two of y'all to his one. Because guess what? If you hate your brother and love him not, you're going to be a hypocrite standing back and let that person of another nation just beat down your brother, or you're going to come to his defense and fight off that one person from another nation. Me personally, I wouldn't let somebody of another nation come and harm my brother or my sister. You try to harm my brother and sister, you asking for behind whipping. Hold that. Go to 1 John 3 and 14. 1 John 3 and 14.
1 John chapter 3, verse 14. We know that we have passed from death unto life.
It says we know that we have passed from death unto life. How you pass from death unto life? By keeping these commandments. Loving your people. Keeping the high holy days. not celebrating any kind of pagan day of these other nations. Find me Christmas in the Bible. Find me New Year's. Find me the 4th of July in the Bible. They're not in there. So we pass from death unto life by what? Keeping these commandments. That's how you obtain life. Because why keeping these commandments are life? Read on.
Because we love the brethren.
Because we what?
We love the brethren.
The scriptures say we pass from death unto life because we love our brethren. Somebody of the same nationality, bloodline, heritage, and lineage, from the same forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and especially Jacob. Read on.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
It says, he that loveth not his what?
His brother abideth in death.
You abide in death because why? You love not your brother. If you don't come to the aid of your brother and you don't love him according to the scriptures, that brother is going to die because you love him not. That brother is going to be murdered in the street because you love him not. You selling your brother drugs because you love him not. You sticking your brother up with a gun because you love him not. You killing your brother by not teaching him the right things. Because why? These scriptures are having us pass from death unto life. But because you love not your brother, you don't even teach him what's righteous according to the Bible. The Bible is our heritage. The Bible is our way of life. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
It says, whosoever what?
Hateth his brother is a murderer.
It says, whosoever hateth his brother is a what?
A murderer.
You hate your brother so much you're going to watch him get murdered. A lot of our people that isn't into the ways of the Most High in Christ are out there in those streets, not pertaining to the Bible, not trying to do what's right. And we selling each other drugs. We loving these other nations. We hating our brother, but quick to love a so-called white man or a Chinese or a Japanese man or an African or an East Indian. We are there in their stores calling them brother, calling them mama, calling them pop. I'm not calling somebody of another nation who definitely hates my people selling us crap, my brother or mama or pop. Because if you're not on the sign of those 12 tribes, if you're not on that chart, I do not love you. But guess what? I love my brother and sister that's listed on there. I don't care what tribe you're from. You can be from Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulon, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those people of Negro, Indian, Hispanic descent. I love you because why? Christ told us and gave us the commandment of loving our brother. But the scriptures say, whosoever, talk about the nation of Israel, those 12 tribes, in Acts 2 and 21 to 22, that's the whosoever and whomsoever. It says, hating his brother is a what?
Is a murderer.
Is a murderer. You're not going to help your brother because you hate him. You're going to let him die in the street because you're not going to give that brother a place to live, clothes to put on his back, shoes to put on his feet. You're going to stand there and be taping the things that are happening in the street to your people with a video camera or a phone while the police bust him in his head to the white meat. You are a murderer. Stop up there taping stuff and help that brother out. See why is that policeman going over there and harassing that brother to underhandedly try to kill him. Don't just sit there and tape. Do something. Because love is an action, not just words. Read on.
Verse 16. Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid.
Salaki, go back to 15 after murder.
And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
It says, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. Our brothers and sisters that are lost out there in the world, under Christianity, under Baptist, under all these religions, have no eternal life abiding in him. Because why? The church had turned the love of our brothers and sisters to another nation. The church had taught us to love another nation and not our own people. Talk about that one world getting together and loving everybody. That is not what John 3:16 is about at all. That John 3:16, according to Isaiah 45:17, and Acts 2:21, Matthew 15:24, Matthew 10:5-6, that world was talking about the world of Israel, that age of society that God has always talked about Christ's love. Because in John 17:9, you don't even realize what they're saying. It says, I pray for them, I pray not for the world. So if Christ ain't praying for the whole world, who was Christ up there praying for and asking to be saved? That's in Acts 11:26. And so all Israel shall be saved. And in Isaiah 45:17, it says, and Israel shall be saved, world without end. That's the world in John 3:16. Talk about a fellow Israelite or a fellow brother, which is an Israelite according to the Bible, not the whole world. Give me Matthew 25:40, Baba Kushar. It's ridiculous to see these things happen to our people, and yet we'll kill a brother for stepping on our shoe, but let a white man have you in oppression for 300 to 400 years, and yet you do nothing about it. What you need to do is to get into this truth in the Isupk and learn who the hell you are and stop loving these other nations. The scriptures say, be ye separate. The Most High has made us a separate people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth. Deuteronomy 7:6. Give me Matthew 25:40, Baba Kushar.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 40.
First of all, tell them who is saying this in when the words are read.
This is Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach speaking. The words are read.
Exactly. This is Christ speaking. Christ is about to tell you something prevalent. Christ is going to put you on point. Christ is going to teach you what to do according to the truth of the Bible. And this is what he said. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily.
And the king shall answer and say unto them. Who is the them that is talked about? It's talking about Israelites, those of Negro, Indian, Spanish descent, those 12 tribes. And the king talked about Christ shall answer and say unto them. So Christ was actually talking to the disciples, to those 12 tribes. Go ahead.
Verily, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
It says, verily, meaning truly, I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my what?
My brethren.
My brethren. What tribe does Christ come out?
Judah.
The why? Christ come out of Judah, Hebrews 7:14. So if Christ come out of the tribe of Judah, who is Christ's brethren? Who was he talking about? Christ was talking about Israelites. Christ said, who is my mother? Who is my father? Who is my brothers and sisters? Those that do the will of my Father, which means keeping these commandments. Which is Matthew 18:19. Christ said, that who is my mother, my brother, my father. Because can't no other nation in the world keep and do these commandments but those 12 tribes. Psalm 147:19-20. Which these laws, statutes, commandments was given unto Jacob, whose name got later changed to Israel, who is the father and the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. So Christ was talking to Israelites, saying, verily I say unto you, truly, inasmuch as you have done it unto the one of these least of these my brethren, ye have done it to me. So as Christ is standing in front of you, if Christ was in front of you, the same thing that you would do for Christ, do to the least of your brother. If Christ was in front of you, you would clothe him, wouldn't you?
Come.
You would give him something to eat, right? If Christ was in jail, you would visit him, right?
Come.
If Christ was thirsty, you would give him something to drink, right? Just as Christ fed us with the fishes and the loaves of bread, we ought to be feeding one another, not only with food when a brother and a sister need it, offering them assistance, but to also love them as Christ has loved us, giving us knowledge and wisdom and understanding of the Bible. That's love. The churches ain't never giving you that. Because you go walk in the church a dead spirit, and you leave the church a dead spirit. Because why? We are not teaching one another how to love each other. The pastor and preacher are going to get destruction because why? They teach after the commandments of men and not after the commandments of the Most High or Christ. That's Colossians 2:8. That's why religion is so popular. That's why religion has blown up and our people are being wasted because we are doing what religion has said and not according to the Bible. Your pastor and preacher do not know a goddamn thing about the Bible. That's why we don't know how to love one another. Matter of fact, give me Matthew 25:42. Christ is going to tell you, since Christ said in Matthew 25:40, if you have done it unto me, do it unto the least of these, my brethren.
Ready for that?
Matthew 25:42.
Matthew chapter 25, verse 42. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat.
Christ said, for I was a hungered, and ye gave me no meat. Because you not only hate your brother, but you hate Christ also by not keeping these commandments, and you hate the Most High. Because what's the love of the Most High? 1 John 5:3 is to keep the commandments. For they are not grievous, but you keep the commandments. That's how you love the Most High and Christ. And that's how you prove yourself in loving God and Christ and your brethren by keeping what's in the Bible. It says, for I was a hunger and you gave me no meat. Christ said, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. How hard is it for you to give a few dollars out your pocket or to go get a brother something to eat if he's starved? We see our brother right there on the street. One of these 12 tribes said whether they got something or not, and we'll walk past it. But yet we see a heathen on the street, a so-called white man up there begging in the middle of the highway for some money from one of our people. And guess what? Because we have no understanding of the Bible to not love your enemy, but to love those of the 12 tribes, we give them some money. How the hell are you begging? And Esau had the whole world. The so-called white man had the whole world, and you're going to give him a couple of dollars. If you're not those 12 tribes, you ain't getting nothing from me. Because Christ said to love my brethren, not these other nations. Go ahead.
I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink.
I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. You didn't even, you hate Christ so much, you ain't going to give him something to drink. Our Lord and Savior, who gave up his life, who loved us so much as not only servants, but brethren, which he called us. You ain't going to give Christ something to drink, but you'll give a white man who hates you something to drink, a Chinese man. You going to share your water with him? Heck no, I don't care if it was my last drop of water. I'm going to give it to my brother. I'm going to give it to my people, whoever in my people needs it. I ain't going to give it to no heathen, because guess why? As soon as they get that thirst quenched, what they going to do? They are going to torment you. They are going to tell you to your face, literally spitting in it, and they're going to tell you, I hate you, because why? You are not their people. When you look at what's happening in our neighborhoods, all of them that have these stores are not our people. You got Africans in our neighborhood, you got Chinese, you got Arabs, you got East Indians. All of them in our neighborhoods selling us something that we could come together and actually have a store or, some way to produce money for our black community, our Hispanic community, our Native Indian communities. But we'll give to a heathen before we'll give our brethren. Come on. If you now the 12 tribes, you can forget it from me, I'm telling you. And check this out. You can tell me to go to hell all you want, but guess what? These 12 tribes, all the way from Judah to Issachar, we've been living in hell for over 400 years. So when another nation tells you to go to hell, guess what? We already in it, and we've been surviving. Because guess why? We coming back to this knowledge, wisdom, understanding in the Bible, these commandments. Make no mistake, Deuteronomy 28 chapter is what is preserving us and holding us, because we have now yet known what the scriptures hold for us. Verse 43, Matthew 25 and 43, Brother Shaw.
Verse 43, I was a stranger, and ye took me not in.
It said, Christ is saying this, I was a stranger, and you took me not in. If we love Christ so much, if you actually knew the power of Christ that the Most High has given him, if you knew that was Christ, when Christ was walking the earth, you would have took him in. But because you know not of the power of the Most High, you turned yourself away from Christ. You up there calling Christ all kinds of names, just like they call the black man names today. These other nations call the black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and like it says in the Deuteronomy 28 chapter, a high word and a byword, which is all these derogatory names, wetback, spit, nigger, you name it. And they look down on us with their nose pointed down at us, when we are the greatest people on the face of earth. Matthew 5 and 13, we are the salt of the earth. Go ahead.
It's like we have questions online if you want to take it. It's all a little off topic, but you want to take it now. Trooper Batak says, Salaki, if I may, was Christ the youngest child of Mary or the oldest?
Christ was the I would say the middle child, because Joseph and Mary did have because Christ did have brothers and sisters, if you don't know.
Okay.
So Christ was either probably the middle or the youngest child, because it was other children before him.
Okay.
But
that was it, sir.
All right. I hope that answered your question, Patop. See you in class.
You keep going.
Okay.
Verse 43, I was a stranger and you took me not in.
It says, I was a stranger and you took me not in. So by you not knowing who Christ was and you turning yourself away from Christ, not wanting to deal with him, and he is your brother, Christ said, I was a stranger, you took me not in. So you going to leave Christ sitting outside just like you would do your brother today? Your brother may be in need of somewhere to stay for the night. Your brother might be in a situation to where he can't go home, and you going to leave him outside to perish in the cold or in the heat or in the dead of winter? Tell that brother come in. That's brotherhood. Give that brother some warm blankets. Give that brother some cool air. Let him come in and be sheltered. That's brotherhood. That's love. Because you ask somebody of another nation, would they take you in their house? They don't even live in your neighborhood. And the ones that do, guess what? They go into rehab. All these rehabs that done popped up in our community, in our neighborhood, they there because, not to help our brothers and sisters with the problem, but to help these other nations with theirs. Because these other nations had came into our neighborhood and pumped drugs in. The crime rate had risen because of these other nations. Because I remember a time where we had black love in our neighborhood for one another. You know, everything was fine, everything was groovy. But look at it now. Because of these heathens and no love for one another, they had came in and basically took over, bringing in rehab, bringing in drugs, bringing in crime. And when you look at it on a wider scale, These other nations are the ones shooting up the churches, placing bombs, up there murdering our people in the street, using the military, the police to do a sin. Zechariah 11:5, they hold themselves not guilty. It's no mistake that the Bible right here is telling us what is going to go on with our people if we don't come back together. Go ahead.
Naked, and ye clothe me not.
Naked, and you clothe me not. Some of our people who don't know of the scriptures and the love of the Most High in Christ, when we see a brother that doesn't have anything because of us not knowing what the scriptures hold, we'll walk past that brother. But yet we'll quick to give a so-called white man some brand new pair of tennis shoes from out the store. I ain't giving you jack if you're not my people. I'm not even turning a patch off my clothes to give to you. But yet, let that black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man ask me for anything. If I got it, you got it. That's the spirit of the Isupk. If a brother needs, a brother will get. Because you love him like you love Christ, like you love the Most High. Because you cannot be in the spirit of the Most High in Christ, and yet you hate your brother. Because Christ said you are a what? A liar. Go ahead.
Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not.
Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Do you know that the Isupk has a prison ministry to where you can get help and visit your brothers and sisters that are unrighteously locked up in jail? You can go see about that for Isupk or www.isupk.com. We have a prison ministry to where we go into the prison and visit our brothers and sisters, where we teach them how to be righteous, so that when they get out, they'll come into this truth and be troopers, officers, captains, under commanding General Yohana, loving your people and treating your brother with love and respect. Not being a hypocrite, trying to push crime on your brother, trying to get him to sell drugs. That is not the spirit of the Isupk. We have turned men from the streets and from being drug dealers and criminals into honorable men, priests and prophets of the Most High in Christ. That is our job. Isaiah 49:6, for it is the least thing to be my servant and to raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. So we come and visit our brothers and sisters in these prisons. Because why? Christ would have visited you. So guess what? The righteous men of our Isupk come and visit our brothers and sisters in the prison system. Verse 44.
Verse 44. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee?
So then they answered Christ and saying, Lord, when have we ever seen you hunger and thirst, as a stranger, naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? We would never, if Christ was standing in front of us, we would never see him in those kind of conditions. So why would you see another brother and sister in those same conditions? Have you not love for your people, for your nation? These churches have taught us to have more love for somebody who hates us than for our own people on a daily basis. The Christian church or these religious denominations have taught our people foolishly how to hate our own brother and sister. We got more love for another nation than our own people. I ain't got no love for no other nation. You're not on their side, you can forget it. Go ahead.
Verse 45. Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me.
then shall he answer them. So Christ is answering them, saying, verily I say unto you. So he's telling you this. He let you know this is a fact. Inasmuch as ye did it not unto the least one of these, talk about your own brother, your own sister of your nation. You did it not to me. If you didn't love Christ, you ain't loving your brother and sister. If you didn't give Christ something to eat, drink, somewhere to stay, because it say the foxes have holes, the birds have nests, but where do Christ have to lay his head? So you're gonna see Christ out in the street. Yet we got our brothers and sisters on the street every day trying to survive. Those brothers and sisters that's up there doing the squeegee on the highway, washing car windows. That's all they're doing is looking for a chance to survive the next day. Some of them are young, are our brothers and sisters, our young people, out there in the street just trying to get a snack so that they can possibly go to school the next day as ordered. Or so that they can subside their hunger, getting a little Debbie for 50 cents. What are they, 50, 75 cents now? Oh, huh?
$1 some change, man.
Oh, they some dollars some change. Goodness gracious. Where have I been? Our brothers and sisters that's doing the squeegeeing on the street, just trying to subside their hunger or to survive the next day because the situation at home is messed up because some of our brothers and sisters have no food at home, or they might be in a situation to where they need to get out the house and don't even want to come home. Go ahead.
Verse 46, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment.
And these shall go away into everlasting punishment. You are going to be punished because you love not your brother and sister as Christ had commanded. You are going to go into everlasting punishment because you hate your brother or sister with an evil eye, and that you love in these other nations that the Most High in Christ told you to be separate from. Go ahead.
But the righteous into life eternal.
But the righteous into what?
Life eternal.
How you going to live a long time unless you do as these scriptures say? Because these scriptures are life. Doing these commandments are life and not grievous. You don't want to do these laws, statutes, commandments? The Most High has a punishment for you. How you going to claim to love the Most High, but yet you hate your brother? That's the whole premises of what Christ was teaching, not only the disciples, but what he's teaching us now, to love your people. Because while you loving these heathens, they're going to turn your heart away from the Most High in Christ. That's why we up there doing like these other nations doing. Eating all the crab, shrimp, and lobster out of the sea. That's why the water dirty. Polluting everything. Showing your nakedness, your behind, having your behind out. Having all types of your flesh shown. Going to church, praising a false white power. Thinking that Christ is white. Thinking that the disciples is white. Thinking that the priests and prophets of God are anybody who claim and confess that they love God. Come on now. Matter of fact, give me John 13 and 34. We got to do better. We got to love our people. How are we going to come together like Zephaniah 2 and 1 says, unless we gather ourselves together under the banner of Brotherhood and the Isupk? How are we going to gather ourselves together, O nation not desired? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the most undesired people on the face of earth. But yet these other nations will come into your neighborhood and talk about what's up, friend, and sell you some crack or sell you some drugs or sell you something that you're going to get sick from. You know, not to defame anything, but I've been trusting that Popeye's chicken. Because if there's too many of our people going and getting that Popeye's chicken, I don't trust it. Ain't nothing like some home cooking. Don't you know chicken is biblically in the Bible? Leviticus 2:5 and 2:7. Chicken is in the Bible. The Bible gives you the recipe. The Bible tells you how to do shake and bake and crispy fried chicken, bacon in a pan, mingled with oil and flour. Who's the greatest cooks on the face of the earth? Black people. Because if you up there talking about, oh, I'm gonna just sprinkle some accent on some chicken, it's gonna be delicious, you are mistaken. Go ahead.
It's like heathens don't wash their meat either, you know.
Exactly. Heathens don't wash that.
They don't. I seen the show.
Heathens do not wash their meat. They are filthy. At my slavery, I done seen them going to the bathroom, and I'm just sitting there washing my hands, and they'll go ahead and get a paper towel, wipe their hands, and then come out. And I'm looking like, is something wrong with me while I'm washing my hands at least about 2 to 3 times over? They'll come and use the bathroom and walk out. But then come lunchtime, they want to offer you something. Hell no, am I taking it? No, thank you. Wash your chicken. They up there lying to you talking about if you wash your chicken, all this bacteria and disease and stuff will be on your chicken. Right. Not if you wash it. Come on. You get the world's most nastiest germ-infested food from who? Esau, by the so-called white man, by these other nations. Because they don't wash their hands. They don't wash their hands at all. And an African, at that, you I don't even want to smell your breath. I don't want to even smell your breath. But let me get back to the scriptures. Go ahead. John 13 and 34.
John chapter 13, verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you.
It says, a new commandment that I give unto you. Who is talking right here?
This is Christ. Words are read.
Exactly. This is Christ talking some more. And what he say?
That ye love one another as I have loved you.
As ye love one another as I have loved you. Christ in many times in the scriptures had called us not only servants, but his brethren. That's why I brought out that scripture. Who is my mother? Who is my brother? Who is my father? Those who do the will of my Father, which means keeping these commandments of the Bible. Christ was calling us his brethren, his sisters, not only because he's from the tribe of Judah, but because he's one of the 12 tribes, out of the seed of David. You can find that in Matthew 1 and 1, 2:21. Go ahead.
That ye also love one another.
That ye also love one another. Christ is giving you an order and commanding, saying that if you love him, you're going to love your brother also. No matter what tribe they're from, if they are those 12 tribes, I'm going to love Judah. I'm going to love Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Isupk. No matter what tribe you're from, my arms are open. My arms saying, come here, brother. Come here. What we going to do today? We're going to go to war? Let's break down some of these scriptures. Let's teach one another how to be righteous. Let's get up in this truth and do as the scriptures have said. Let's stop following these holidays. Let's stop following the wicked commandments of these former Pharisees and Sadducees, which are your pastors and preachers today. Christ had called the pastors and preachers in the churches now vipers, wicked snakes, because they sit in the seat of Moses, but tell you to not keep the commandments. Hold that. Matter of fact, give me Matthew, is it Matthew? Uh, Matthew 5 and 19. That's it. Matthew 5 and 19. Because this is what your pastor and preacher did. And after that, give me Jeremiah 23 and 1.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
It says, whosoever shall break one of these least commandments. These are your pastor and preachers teaching the 12 tribes of Israel that is foolishly up in their church, because Acts 7 and 48 tell you that the Most High dwelleth not in churches made by hands. So you got these big elaborate churches and they teaching you to not keep the commandments. That's how they get rich off of you. That's how they teaching you to disobey the Most High in Christ, by dealing in their religion and not according to the Bible. Go ahead.
And shall teach men so.
And shall do what?
Teach men so.
And shall teach men so. That sounds like Colossians 2 and 8 to me. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, not after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Most High. So you got an ideology and philosophy of man that the Most High did not tell you to celebrate or do. The Most High telling you always to keep the commandments. Is that on that?
Nah, some more.
Go ahead.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
What shall the pastors and preachers of these churches supposed to be leading our people going to be called?
The least in the kingdom of heaven.
Shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. They got their status up here right now, like Al Sharpton, Jamal Bryant, Benny Hinn, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long. You see what the Most High done to him? Because he was teaching the commandments of men and not out of the Bible. All that scandal being a homosexual, and what happened? He got death, like the Most High has said. That's in Leviticus 20 and 13. And their blood shall be upon them, which means they're going to get death for being a homosexual. He tried to cover it up, but what happened? He got death. Any more?
Come.
Go ahead.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
But whomsoever shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So those, which is the Isupk, we are going to be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Because why? We are raising up young men, we are raising up young women, men and women, to do these law, statute, commandments, to be great in the kingdom, and also teach our brothers and sisters how to be great also by keeping these commandments. How can you call yourself great or anything if you're not doing as the Most High command you to do? Which is love your brother and sister, keeping these commandments, keeping the high holy days, loving one another, coming to the aid of your brothers and sisters. The Red Cross ain't nothing, because why? That ain't what our people need. Our people need what the Most High is giving us, which is these law, statute, commandments. And if we know how to operate righteously and walk circumspectly in the scriptures, we will be the greatest, because this is our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Give me Matthew 5 and 22. Matthew 5 and 22. I don't know about anybody else, but I want to be called great. I want to be known for doing as the Most High in Christ said, by keeping the order of loving my brothers and sisters, those people of my nation, that Asian society, that world that Christ had talked about us loving. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
It says, but whosoever, the whosoever, all through the Bible is talking about Israel. That's Acts 2 and 21 to 22. That whosoever. Make no mistake, it is not talking about these other nations, but it's talking about Israelites. Because why? Those 12 tribes? Because we were given the oracles of God. It says, but whosoever shall what?
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
It says, it says, by saying to you that whomsoever, talk about Israelites, is angry with his brother without a cause. So you angry and you hate your brother for no reason. What does money really mean to you? Of course, everybody needs it here and there, and money is defense. But guess what? You owe your brother a couple of dollars, you'll get it when he gets it. If you owe somebody something, if you owe your brother something, and you got it, and you even got extra, pay that brother back. Having something that you owe that brother like money is no reason to be angry with him. Because why? In your own foolishness and anger, you are going to do something to that brother that might get him hurt. You are going to do something to that brother that goes against the scriptures. So it says, by saying to you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause, so you got no reason of being angry with your brother. You're not loving when you angry with him for no reason. Go ahead.
So like, and that's heavy too, because like you feel you got a lot of dudes who it's like they beef and go to war, and they ain't really got no reason to go to war with each other. You see what I'm saying? Other than the fact that one may live on this block and the other live on this block.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? They don't even know what they beefing for, but they gonna kill each other.
Exactly. Something as foolish as simple as over colors. Crips versus blood. When if you came together like the Most High had told you to, then guess what? We could get out this hell. Whenever the Most High, whenever the Christ would come back, and Christ would see that we are worthy to be by His side by coming together. You fighting over colors? So you telling me if I go ahead and put on red, or which is my favorite color though, if I put on some red or I put on some blue, then I'm supposed to hate you? How about doing something that the Most High told you the hell to do? Something that Christ told you to do, which is gather yourself together. You gonna let some colors come in between y'all? You gonna let money come in between you and your brother and the love y'all supposed to have one another? That is foolishness. That's why it says whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, which means fool, is in danger of counsel. Which means you are going to get judged by the Most High in Christ for being foolish, by hating your brother over no reason. You don't want to be in the path of the Most High's anger for not being brotherly to your brother. And it says, but whosoever shall say thou fool, so you calling your brother a fool because he coming up to you in righteousness, trying to discuss something with you like the scriptures say. Going to him and be alone. You're going to call him a fool. Oh, I don't want to hear you go somewhere with that. You a chump, you this, you that. But the brother has all right to come to you and explain what has made him bad to you, and you don't want to hear him. He's not the fool. You are the fool. Because next step is the Most High either going to judge you, or you're going to be in front of the righteous counsel of the Most High in Christ, which is the Isupk. And guess what? It is not going to be pleasant. Matter of fact, go to Luke 6 and 31. Luke 6 and 31. Because it makes no sense how our brothers and sisters act towards one another. You'll go into Esau's or another nation's army and fight your own people in their community, in their neighborhood, and you take pride in that for fighting with these other nations because you love America so much, but yet you hate your brother so much, you won't get under a righteous banner, which is the Isupk, and you'll hate your brother to death for no apparent reason. That is not the spirit of the Most High in Christ. That is not what we were commanded to do from the Most High in Christ down to our forefathers, down to us, to these 12 tribes. Go ahead.
I got a question. You know how the scriptures say, like, your brother offend you, go to him and him alone.
That's where I'm going at soon.
And then let's say, then you take you pretty much take a witness with another brother with you.
Exactly.
We do it a certain way in the school. So like, you got a problem with a brother, you take it to a brother. You feel me? If not, you go to counsel. If you're dealing with a brother in the world, how do you after you go to him and him alone and it's not resolved there, how do you, like, what's the next step, so to speak, with that?
The scriptures say, go to him as many times as you can. If he don't want to deal with you, let me tell you, the Most High will put it in a situation to where if you can't go to him anymore, he is going to come to you. And y'all going to come to an agreement of why the situation even came about. You got to forgive him as many times as you can. He might not like you today. He might not even call you a brother today, tomorrow, next week, next year. But ultimately, the Most High is going to put a situation in his way to where he comes to you. And he has to apologize, because guess what? My brothers back there in the past, I missed them.
Okay.
And guess what? If they came to me now and say, Gabarda, I'm Salakia, blah, 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 I have to accept that.
Okay.
And can't hate. But our people here out in the street, because they know not the scriptures, they'll go ahead and be in a situation and wonder why they're alone. Because of them hating you, which is their brother, you don't know whether to come to their aid or not, because he had put in you that division. He had put in you that hate to where, y'all can't come together and work things out. These scriptures tell us how to work things out. These scriptures give us the blueprint of how to love one another as Christ has loved us. If you ain't got these scriptures, what do you really know? Do you know more than the Most High?
No.
Do you know more than Christ? No, you don't know more than Christ. God. Christ was perfect. How you gonna know more than a perfect man that the Most High created? Luke 6:31. Luke 6:31. It says, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Which means the scripture is saying, and this is Christ talking, it's saying, as you would do to men should do to you, do unto them likewise. If you would, Christ is telling you, if you would clothe me, if you would feed me, if you would give me something to eat, if you would quench my thirst, if you would give me righteous counsel, that Christ would give you, give unto another brother. You don't leave that brother or sister stranded out there without no help, without no love. Our brothers in the Bahamas, in the islands, need help right now. The Most High, because we have no love for one another, and because we are doing wickedness out there, celebrating this wicked spirit, celebrating not the high holy days, but holidays like Carnival, like Cinco de Mayo, like New Year's, like Christmas, like 4th of July. The Most High sends destruction your way. And our brothers and sisters over there in the islands, in the Bahamas, need our help. Don't let them brothers and sisters perish. That's the spirit of how the white man do. Something happened to his people. They taking up blood drives. They taking up food donations. They taking up clothing drives. But what do our people have when it happens to us? Yeah, they're going to send the Red Cross and BSU all that time. But guess what? Be careful with who you give your blood to. Because if that ain't really your blood, why give them your blood? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
If they not your people, why give them money when you got a brother laying on the street without any shoes on his feet, without no food in his stomach, without some place to, without the basic necessities, how to bathe, to wash, to go to the bathroom at. But you're gonna give to somebody who hates your people? According to Psalms 83 and 3 to 18, they have made a rock, they have made a tumult against you, they have came up against you. The United Nations is not for our people. Where's our seat? Where's our brother in one of those seats? Even these congressmen and these politicians ain't trying to see that any of those 12 tribes are going to rise up and be great. These black congressmen, preachers, and pastors hate our people. They call you brother in a minute just to get your donation, just to get your vote. But when it comes to actually helping our people, all you gotta do is look on the TV, walk in your own neighborhood, and see how far has it changed from back then in the 70s until now. Verse 32, Luke 6 and 32.
Luke chapter 6, verse 32. For if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them.
It says, for if ye love them which love you, if your brother and sister show you love by teaching these laws, statutes, commandments to you, showing you how to love one another in truth and in righteousness, it says, why you up there seeking thanks or applaud? This is something naturally that should be happening. If you love your brother and sister, help them. You see your brother and sister in the street, give them some aid. Give them something to look forward to. Let them know that they can count on you and that they love you. Don't see them stranded out there. Don't pass by that man, that black man, that Hispanic man, Native Indian man on the street and call them a bum. Give them some help. You see them Hispanic brothers on the side of the road selling oranges or selling their goods. You patronize that brother, that sister. For our people who have businesses that have yet to flourish, give to them. Don't continue to give to these other nations' businesses. Because you ask where a black business at today that's a Fortune 500, that is ran by an actual black person. Can you find one? Go ahead, any more? Matter of fact, it says, for sinners also love those that love them. So if you sinning and you doing as the churches say, and these pastors and preachers, aren't those that sinning in the church going love of their own? That's why when you come into the church and you might be a new face, everybody eyes on you. They up there talking about you like you ain't nothing. All you hear is whispers. Who's that? Who is that new person? But if you come into the Isupk, you are going to be treated like a brother and sister. Because why? Christ will treat you like a brother and sister himself, or brother or sister himself. Christ will love you according to the Bible. Matter of fact, give me John 15 and 12. John 15 and 12.
John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
So Christ is giving us an order, because the words in red is Christ. In John 15 and 12, he said, this is my commandment, this is my order, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Christ said in the earlier parts of the scriptures, if I had fed you, I had clothed you, I gave you something to drink, I had visited you in the prison, I have loved you, love ye also. So Christ said he gave you a commandment to love one another as he had loved you. If you love Christ, like the scriptures say, guess what? You are going to keep these commandments. But it's more to this than just keeping the commandments. Christ is going to show you what real love for your brother and sister is. Read on.
That you love one another as I have loved you. Verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this.
It says greater love than no man than this. So if you really want to know what the greatest love is, Christ is about to tell you what the greatest love on earth is. Go ahead.
That a man lay down his life for his friends.
That a man laid down his life for his what?
His friends.
That a man laid down his life for his friends. Those friends that Christ was talking about was his brothers, according to those 12 tribes. Those of Negro, Indian, and Hispanic descent. Not the whole world, but those 12 tribes right there. Christ not only called us his servants, but his brethren and also his friends. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Christ said, ye are my what?
Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you.
Christ said, ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. So Christ gave you the order. Christ said, you are not only more my friends, whatsoever I command you. So check this out. Christ is giving you an order to love one another. That's how you become Christ's friend. That's how you are his brother. That's how you are his servant, a true servant of Christ. Because being a servant of Christ is not just a title. Christ saying, you are my friends. If you do what? Do these commandments. That's what Christ is saying all along. Not just, oh, if you confess it with your mouth, if you do this, if you do that. Christ saying that this love is an action that you love one another. How do you show your brother and sister that love? By doing this. It's just as simple and easy as that. Because Christ said, the scriptures say that the commandments are not grievous. The commandments ain't hard to do.
Okay.
Just do what the hell the Most High in Christ said. Because you go to the churches, why they celebrate Christmas if they keep the commandments? Why are they celebrating these paganistic holidays, singing these paganistic songs? Matter of fact, give me Amos 5:21.
Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days.
The scripture says, I hate. So, the Most High hate. Big news, Christians. Stop lying on the Most High and say he don't hate. Because what the scripture say?
I despise your feast days.
The Most High say, I hate and despise your feast days. Hate is when you utterly dislike something. Despise when you hate it with a passion. It says, I hate and despise your feast days. Christmas, New Year's, especially Thanksgiving for my people. Good gracious. 77 million North American Indians died trying to go ahead and help them filthy pilgrims out. Those Protestants. It says, I hate and despise your feast days. 4th of July, where's our independence? Because we have not been free for the longest, and we ain't free now. And what the hell does the Easter bunny and the egg got to do with Christ? Easter is actually a pagan holiday after the Babylonian god Ashtartes, which is actually the god of prostitution. That's what Easter represents: prostitution and an orgy. He say, "I hate and despise your feast days." Go ahead.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Why will you gather together and you have in the churches these bull roasts, these crab feasts? Why do you think God let the church get shot up with the AK-47? Because God does not dwell in temples made by hand, because you are not keeping the commandments. When did the hell that Christ and the Most High say you can eat lobster, crab, shrimp, pork, the number one killer of our people through high blood pressure? Don't you know that pork got worms in it? That no matter how much you cook it, that you will die from it because of all the diseases in the pig? It says, I hate and despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly. Those wicked foods that you cook on these holidays, because you're not following the commandments, the Most High said that he hates. Matter of fact, give me a Leviticus 11:47. Leviticus 11:47. Because unless you get this knowledge of wisdom and understanding from the Isupk, you ain't learned nothing.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 47. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean.
The Most High say what?
To make a difference between the unclean and the clean.
The Most High say to make the difference between the clean and the unclean, which means there are clean foods which the Most High say you can eat, because they tell their lie in church all the time, talk about Noah brought that, what was it? Noah brought the animals 2 by 2.
Come on.
Talk about Noah brought the animals 2 by 2. But the Most High say make the difference between clean and unclean. According to the scriptures, that the clean animals was by 7 and the unclean by 2. Because guess what? Not only did Noah and his family had to eat, but guess what? The other animals had to eat too.
Come on.
So the Most High make the difference between clean and unclean beasts that you can eat. Go back to Amos 5:22. So the Most High is not going to smell that wicked food that you're cooking. All that crab, lobster, and shrimp, and oysters, and all those other wicked things the Most High say he hates. He don't even want to smell them when you cook them. Go ahead.
Amos chapter 5, verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
The Most High say, though you have burnt offerings and meat offerings, the Most High is not going to accept them. Why do you think of the things that the Most High told us not to eat? Why do we die from it? Why do we die from eating pork, high blood pressure? Why do we get sick from crab, lobster, and shrimp and have an allergy from them? Or we get gout? Or we have our limbs falling off? Or our limbs swelling up to unmentionable proportions. A good example that we can take from that, because we don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, is that from that movie Soul Food. And this is the irony of the whole thing. Big Mama been cooking that food so much, she had diabetes. She had high blood pressure. Her limbs started swelling up and being inflamed. And guess what? Big Mama and Soul Food died. And guess what? That movie was so wicked that the children continued that tradition, that feast day that the Most High told them not to do. And guess what? How you think it ended for their family? The same way. With high blood pressure, with gout, with diseases, because you're eating all the things that the Most High told you not to do, because the Most High made the difference between clean and unclean food and beasts. Go ahead.
Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beast.
Neither will he regard the peace offerings of your fat beast. So the Most High don't even want you to pray over. He don't want none of that offered to him. The Most High don't want to smell it. He don't want to see it. And he do not want you to eat it. Because you, while following after the commandments of men, eating those wicked things. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs.
It says, take thee away from me the noise of thy song. The Most High don't want to hear those hypocritical songs. Like Kirk Franklin been singing, like T.D. Jakes been up there. That goddamn fat pig up there talking about, oh Lord, yes, I got a vision from you, liar. You ain't do one commandment. That's why that's why you are going to break hell wide open because you keep not one commandment of this Bible. You have robbed and spoiled the people, like the Most High say. Go ahead. Any more?
For I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
The Most High don't even want to hear that wicked song. Go ahead.
Verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters.
But let judgment run down as waters. Just as easily as it can rain outside, the Most High is going to bring judgment upon this wicked nation, upon this wicked society, which is Babylon, aka America, Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Egypt. Thy judgment shall come in 1 hour. All right. Matter of fact, we get ready. What time is it? Time check.
We got 8:21, sir.
Cool. Give me Matthew 18 and 21. Because this is how you're supposed to love a brother enough to settle your problems according to the Bible. Matthew 18 and 21.
Matthew 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
This was Peter going to Christ and asking how many times should he forgive his brother. And what he said?
How oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
Jesus was up there asking the Most High, asking Christ, if my brother offend me, how often shall I forgive him? 7 times? Shall I forgive my brother only 7 times if he offend me? Or if he transgressed against me? Or he done talked about me? Or he done lied or stole from me? How often should I forgive my brother? And this is Christ telling Peter how to love your brother. And not only that, the people of your nation. Christ was giving the instructions on how to love your people. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times.
Christ said not only 7 times. Don't just forgive him 7 times. Go ahead.
But until 70 times 7.
But until what?
70 times 7.
Which means as much as possible. You forgive that brother or sister. Because sometimes they don't even know that they offended you or done something to you. And sometimes even our people think that they can get away with it. But the thing is, if that brother and sister offend you, Christ is saying to Peter, forgive them as much as possible. How can you even go to war with your brother in righteousness, and yet you up there looking at him out your side eye, oh, I hate that Negro right there. Or she's such a B.I., the rest of the letters. Or, yeah, that brother and sister doing this, back talking and backbiting. We ain't the Christian church. We ain't these religions out here that teaches you how to hate your brother and sister. We are the Isupk under Commander General, and we're going to love that prostitute. We're going to love that junkie. We're going to love that homeless man. We're going to love that brother and sister who don't have of our people. And that's a righteous thing to do. Just because you're a junkie, just because you might be homeless, even the homosexual, we're going to love you by teaching you the correct way according to the Bible. We're not going to cast you away like the church has cast many of their parishioners away. We're going to love you according to the Bible in truth and in righteousness of these words right here, which is an action. A physical action. That's what love is. You want to know how to love a brother and sister? Go into the scriptures under righteous teachers and show that brother and sister today, how do you love them? If they don't have, you give them. If they are thirsty, you give them something to drink. If they have no clothing, then you go into your closet. Something that these pastors and preachers with all their goddamn expensive Armani suits, their Sean Johnson, their Louis Vuitton, their planes, their jets, their wealth of the world won't do for God's holy and chosen people. These pastors and preachers are wicked as hell. Matter of fact, give me Jeremiah 23:1. Jeremiah 23:1.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors.
What did the scripture say about these black pastors and preachers that are so rich and so goddamn greedy?
Woe be unto the pastors.
It says, woe be unto the pastors. Talk about those that are the heads of your community that's up there in the church under these religious denominations. Matter of fact, what does woe mean? Woe means destruction and death. So the Most High is telling you destruction and death unto these pastors and preachers. That's why they are getting murdered in their own churches. Go ahead.
That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
That destroy and what?
That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. And how do they do that? By telling you to hate one another. By robbing you in the church. Why does the hell the church has an ATM in their church? Why in the hell are they passing the collection plate time and time again? And you leaving out broke, don't even have money to feed your family. Because they tell you how to hate your brother and sister. They hate their own brothers and sisters, according to the Bible. Go ahead.
They tell you that the laws is done away with.
Exactly. They say that the laws are done away with. But when you read Matthew 5:17 to 19, Christ said he did not come to destroy the law or the prophets, which means he did not come to destroy the law in the Bible or the prophets and priests that came and brought the law to Israel, but to what? Fulfill. Which means when Christ come back, we are still going to do these laws, statutes, and commandments. That these pastors and preachers in these wicked churches are not teaching our brothers and sisters of Israel. But guess who is teaching our brothers and sisters in Israel? The Isupk, telling you to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and to love your people and not these other nations. Matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, in the 3rd verse. The Bible has an answer for everything. Deuteronomy 7:3. And this is love according to the scriptures. This is something that the priests and the prophets of God is telling you to do. How to love your brother and sisters. Not these other nations. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Talking about these other nations. That ain't love when you go into another nation. But it is love when you marry one of those 12 tribes right there, and you are one of those sons and daughters of Jacob. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. So don't be marrying these heathen nations. Marrying these nations that are not Israelites. Go ahead.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Don't give your precious daughter unto their son. Go ahead.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Don't give something as precious as your daughter or your son to a heathen. You got 12 tribes to choose from and to love. And you're going to marry somebody of another nation, a heathen. If I ever have a daughter or a son, guess what? They ain't going to no other nation. You're going to love these 12 tribes here. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For they will...
And this is the reason why the Most High said to love somebody of your own nation. Go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For they will turn away thy son from following me. Why do you think our people doing that tragic and that costly and that life-taking civil rights movement that Martin Luther King tried to bring, which was not in the best interest of the Most High, why so many of our people have shedded their blood until they died by the so-called white man in these other nations, beating us to hell down, taking our life, because we went against the Most High in Christ and not following these laws, statutes, commandments. It says, for they will do what?
For they will turn away thy sons from following me.
For they will turn away thy sons from following me. They turned us away from following the Most High. And guess what? We looking at them as God in Christ now. Forget that. Ain't no white man my God. Ain't no white man my Christ. Christ is a black man. The Most High is black. The priests and prophets of God, of the Most High, is black. All through Genesis unto Revelations, the priests and prophets of God and his people are black. Those of Negro, Indian, and Hispanic descent. Go ahead.
That they may serve other gods.
That they may serve what?
Other gods.
The scriptures say they serve the creature more than the creator. So the Most High, even though he created the so-called white man, you worship him by thinking that he's white. You up there serving the creature, which is the so-called white man, more than that powerful entity, which is the black Most High, and you serving a creature more than the creator. How dare you not do as the Most High in Christ say, which the Most High had made everything known to your feeble mind, and you disobeying the Most High? That's why we're in this condition now, because we are not following this. We following after the commandments of men. Go ahead.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you. Why was the anger of the Lord kindled against us? Or he had made his anger hot with us? Because we was doing for other nations and not our own. Matter of fact, get the Apocrypha, Tobit 4:12. I'm here to take a bite of this chicken.
Come.
Because I'm going to tell you, it makes me sick when I hear them say, when I hear our people say, ain't white people can be good. Have you actually seen the picture of our people in chains? Have you seen what they've done to our Hispanic brothers and sisters? They have yet to really scratch the surface of what happened to our brothers and sisters in the islands, in the Bahamas. But yet, let something happen to those Jewish white people. Let them talk about the Holocaust. You can't even mention the Holocaust without them getting pissy with you. Calling themselves Jewish. Stealing an identity. And tell you that the Jews was black, that the Jews are black. So how in the hell you get them white people up there can take our identity? I love my people. I don't care whether you're a junkie. I don't care whether you're homeless. I don't care what your condition is. You can be lame and feeble, and I still love you. Come on now. We are not gathering together just for looks. We ain't out there marching. And I hope you know that marching is wicked as hell when you're not in the highways and the byways raising up your people to know that they the 12 tribes of Israel. All these fake Israelites that's out there imitating the Isupk, up there talking this and that. But guess what? One gunshot go off and you're hiding behind another brother, not knowing that that brother was up there trying to hide himself. You lay down your life for that brother because you love him. not to be seen of men, not to be eye pleasers, not to be doing after the commandments of men, but after the commandments of the Most High in Christ. I will gladly lay my life down for another brother or sister. Because guess what? The Most High told me, the Most High said according to the scriptures, and Christ said according to the scriptures, no greater man had love than this, that they should lay down their life for their friends, which is another fellow Israelite. Is that on that?
Come
Or is it
on,
more?
you want Tobit 4 and 12?
Tobit 4 and 12, the what?
Tobit chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom.
It says beware of what?
All whoredom.
Now, a lot of the Christian church would teach you that whoredom or adultery is you taking another man, if you have a wife, it's for a man to take another wife. That's adultery. That is not it. Or if you decide to take on more than one wife. This whoredom that it's talking about is talking about serving these fake gods and serving gods that the Most High did not tell you that you should serve, which is this wood and stone, according to Deuteronomy 28 and 48, which is that wood, which is that Catholic Christian cross, so homosexual in that, and that rock, which is talking about Islam. Because a lot of our people, when they were in prison, because we had not visited them, are up there joining this Islamic movement, which has nothing to do with Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian people at all. You serving that rock, you serving that wood, that is committing adultery against the Most High. Because the Most High said, I remember when thou was a wife unto me. So if we the Most High wife, what does that make the Most High? Our husband. The Most High said he was a husband unto us. And we committed adultery by serving this gods of wood and stone. Go ahead.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
It says beware of all whoredom, which means following after these other nations. The Most High had warned us of that. The Most High gave us a warning. If you continue to commit and to break the commandments and not do my law, statutes, commandments, what would he do? He would take us into slavery, which is Deuteronomy 28 and 48 to 68. Go ahead.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Chiefly take the wife of what?
The seed of thy fathers.
The seed of thy fathers. Look on this sign right here in back of me. Those 12 tribes, that's what it's talking about. What is it, Deuteronomy? What is it, Numbers 1 and 15?
Sure.
Or 1 and... Talk about the pedigrees of thy father. What?
Come on, Numbers, what's that? 1 and 2.
Come. Numbers 1 and 2. Talk about the numbers. Talk about after our fathers, after the pedigrees. Come on now. If you're not loving our own people, our own nation, how you gonna love a heathen? How you gonna love a heathen? How you gonna love somebody that's not of your people? Because when the Chinese get together and something go down, do they say, oh, let me go ahead and protect the Black man, Hispanic man, or Native Indian man? If something go down with the Irish, do they say, let's protect the Black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man? What about the Koreans? Especially white people hate us with a fervent hatred. That's Ezekiel 35 and 5 to 7. They hate us with a perpetual hatred, which means that hatred started from Cain and Abel on down to Esau and Jacob. You really ask a white man, do he love us? He'll show you better than he can tell you. That's why all in the police department, you got them, which is the old patty rollers, being Irish policemen. Those same white Klansmen, when they in front of us, got on police uniform, or when they at home at night, searching out for black, Hispanic, and Native Indians to arrest, they got them hoods on. And right now, they don't have to have those hoods on, because why? The law in America is up there pushing to kill our people. All these laws that's happening now, that they putting out there, is not to benefit Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. These laws are meant to kill us. You go to Psalms 83 and 3 to 18, the Bible will tell you that. Matter of fact, give me Matthew 15 and 18. Like Matthew 18 and 15. So like Matthew 18 and 15.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee.
Stop. It says, this is Christ talking right now, because the words are read. Christ is telling you how to settle an actual problem with your brother. If you have an issue with a brother, Christ is telling you how to handle it and to love one another. Because if you go out there in the world and, a situation arises, they don't have the knowledge or the understanding on how to love one another. But Christ is going to tell you the steps right here, like an instruction manual, how to love a brother and to do for him. And Christ said, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, which means if he offend you in every way, this is how you handle that situation. Go ahead.
Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Go and tell him his fault between him and thee alone. You got a chance to go to your brother, your fellow Israelite, that sister, a fellow Israelite, and settle the situation between you and them. To not let it linger, but to have a solution. And because the Christian and Catholic churches and those religious denominations do not know a damn thing about the Bible, that's why it's striking the church now. You got these pastors and preachers who have robbed and spoiled our people. And the scriptures say, is Israel robbed and spoiled people? Yes, we are, because why? We are in the churches. We need to come out of those churches and come into the righteousness of the Isupk and learn these laws, statutes, commandments, and how to make the Most High happy with us. Go ahead.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast what?
Gained thy brother.
That's how you go to a brother. You tell him his fault between him and thee alone. You don't bring in nobody yet, because why? Everybody don't need to know about it. But because you two have the problem, you go to that brother and you talk it out with him. Everything ain't gonna be peachy. But the thing about it, you go into that brother like a man to another man and telling him his fault. And y'all discussing it like real men, like warriors, like soldiers. Not fighting one another, not throwing the first blow, but having an understanding that something went down and you need to dissolve that terrible matter. Go ahead.
Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
It says, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Yeah, it might be a little back and forth, but now y'all getting to the understanding because you brought it to him, that this is what needs to be settled, that this is what needs to be talked about between you and him. So now he might not want to hear you. So guess what? You got 2 or 3 witnesses there. So that every word can be established, so that everything can be talked about and can be settled, that nothing is said out of context or nothing is lied about. That truth is only going back and forth between y'all because y'all have an understanding that we need to solve this right here and right now without violence and without hate. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
If he neglect to hear them, so now you got witnesses that everything was done, that everything was going according to plan, and you was following the steps of how Christ told you to handle it. It said now he's going to tell it to the church. So now the problem is being brought out in the open to where y'all couldn't settle it between y'all. So now wise counsel have to know about it. Go ahead.
Let him be unto thee as an heathen, a heathen man and a publican.
It says, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. Nobody likes tax collectors. Until that brother come and solve it between you and him, or it get taken to counsel to where every word may be established. You know, that brother is not going to have anything settled, and y'all ain't going to have the understanding of why this situation came about. Because why you are not seeking counsel. The scriptures say, wise men seek counsel, which means you got a general, a captain, an officer wise in these scriptures that can teach you how to get through this problem with you and your brother in righteousness, not being out there like these heathens in the world or the Christian church. If you read Romans 1:25 to 32, all the things that they say that they don't do, they do in the church. Hating your brother and sister, murderers, liars, idolaters, thieves. All of that's in the church right now. Wait till Sunday come up. Soon you're going to hear on the news about another church stealing from some more parishioners. You're going to hear about somebody being sexually assaulted in the Christian or religious denominational church. It's a lot of these Catholic priests who haven't answered for the child molestation that they have done, or the homosexuality that's in the church that you got them up there singing on the choir, and you wonder why your little boy or your little girl now talk about, I think I like them. Hell no. Give me Mark 12:31. Mark 12:31.
Mark chapter 12, verse 31. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
It says, and the second is, matter of fact, start at 30. Start at 30.
Mark chapter 12, verse 30.
Matter of fact, Salakia, I love this one. Go to verse 29, Mark 12 and 29.
Mark chapter 12, verse 29. And Jesus answered him.
Stop. It says, and who answered him?
And Jesus answered him.
So this is Christ talking. Now, you Christians out there, listen to what Christ said, because it's not the whole world. Go ahead.
The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel. The Lord our God is one Lord.
Now, this is Christ talking now. How is he talking to the whole world when it says the first of all the commandments, the first of all the orders or the laws of the Bible is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is what?
The Lord our power is one Lord.
It says the Lord our power, talk about the power of Israel, is one Lord, which means the Most High is doing nothing for these other nations, but he is doing something for his people, as in Deuteronomy 7:6, those 12 tribes, the children of Israel, those of Negro, Indian, and Hispanic descent. And if you don't know, in the Hebrew, it says Shema Yasha'Allah Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. I love it. How about that? Go ahead.
Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
And it said, and thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart. Talking about your mind. Your heart is your mind. Because what your heart is feeling, your mind will do. Go ahead.
And with all thy soul.
And with all thy soul.
And with all thy mind.
And with all thy mind.
And with all thy strength.
And with all thy strength. Sometimes you might fall weak. Sometimes you might even be in the truth and fall weak. But guess what? The Most High is strengthening you up through the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures under commanding Yohana. Commanding Yohana, he turns warriors into men. He turns sisters into righteous women, and to wives, and to righteous daughters. He has been doing that. The ISUPK has been doing that since 1969. Nobody else has been able to make that claim. Go ahead.
This is the first commandment.
This is the first commandment. So you love the Most High with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, and with all your strength. Go ahead.
Verse 31. And the second is like, namely this.
And the second is namely this. So Christ is telling you, the second is like chiefly this. Listen to this, because chiefly this is what it is. Go ahead.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
It says, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Talk about you, an Israelite, shall love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, what does it mean to love thy neighbor as thyself? To love your neighbor as yourself, meaning a fellow Israelite. That's who your neighbor is. It's in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. When it talks about neighbor, it talks about a fellow Israelite. So if you loving somebody of another nation, and that ain't right. But to love your neighbor as thyself, talk about a fellow Israelite. Because when we was in captivity, guess who was our neighbor? One of those 12 tribes right there. You got something to say?
Listen.
Oh, God. I see you grab the mic. Maybe I got to back off. That's a powerful speaker right there. Precinct officer of 50, Mutazabah. Powerful speaker right there.
Water, sir.
Great brother. Many times I was up there trying to get to class. This brother, like a true brother, came and picked me up and took me to class, especially Sabbath service. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it wasn't for that brother, I would have got to class or Sabbath service many days.
Water, no sweat there.
Water.
And you're the boss, sir. No sweat.
All right, go ahead. Any more?
Come on. There is none other commandment greater than these.
It says there is none other commandment greater than these. So the first is to love the Most High with all thy heart, thy soul, thy mind, and with all thy strength. And the second is to love thy neighbor as thyself, which is talking about a fellow Israelite. If you're an Israelite, you love another fellow Israelite by doing what Christ would do for you, as you would do for Christ. Time check.
8:53, sir.
Come. And you know what? Matter of fact, give me Zephaniah 2:1. Zephaniah 2:1.
Sir. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
It says, gather together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Like it was said before, who more not desired than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? We got the whole world at the UN talk about we lazy, we ain't nothing, we wetbacks, we spits, we niggas, we this. But the Most High said for us to do what?
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We are not desired as a nation or a people. That's why they stole our identity. That's why they have us up there in the churches, being in and everything the Most High told us not to be. That's why we're fighting one another. That's why we can't ever learn to get along, because we're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. So we, the nation that's not desired, who Christ had came to save. Christ is telling us to come together in brotherhood. Zephaniah 2:1 is telling us to gather together as a people and a nation. Those 12 tribes right there. And because we won't gather together, even though we're not desired, this is what the Most High do. Go to Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28 in the Apocrypha. Because we will not do as the Most High say. The Most High does certain things to us to let us know that we are to come together. We're going to come together one way or another. Look what happened in the Bahamas, as I had said before. Look what happened to our brothers down there, to Benjamin. Look what happened to Levi and Simeon. Those Haitians, those Dominicans. All them terrible storms and earthquakes and things that happen. Let's see what the Most High say about that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
It says there be spirits that are created for vengeance. So the Most High not only sends those terrible things like storms and tempests and fire, not only for the other nations, but to bring us closer together. Because we will not come together as a nation not desired and be brothers and sisters towards one another, the greatest people that has ever lived on the face of the earth, because the Most High said so. Go ahead.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Because of the Most High anger, and because we broke the Most High law, the Most High lay on sore strokes. The Most High punished us vehemently. Go ahead.
In the time of destruction, they pour out their force.
In the time of their destruction, these spirits pour out their force. They do as the Most High tell them to do, by what? Making tornadoes, making earthquakes, making flash floods. Just destruction. These spirits are created for what? Vengeance, like it says in the beginning of the scripture. Go ahead.
And appease the wrath of him that made them.
And they please the Most High by doing what they are told. They talk about demons and all this. No, these are angels that the Most High had to bring this destruction. So where are the love at, Christian church? Where is the love? The Most High got a punishment coming for you very soon. And because they are going to be a weeping and gnashing of teeth, you ain't going to know what hits you, because why? You are not doing anything righteous by keeping the commandments. Give me Isaiah 29 and 6. I love that one. This is one General Bmore had went over yesterday, Isaiah 29 and 6. Because we will not come together as a people. The Most High do things like this.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. Thou.
Let me get it first.
One more time.
My thumb's a little sore because I got these gloves. Isaiah 29 and 6.
Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earth.
Thou shalt be visited with the Lord of hosts with what?
With thunder.
All that lightning, flashing. That lightning is telling you, just like the Most High throne surrounded by fire, pure fire, saying, fear me. Can you fight against lightning?
Wow.
That shows you how bad the Most High is. Your arms are too short to box with the Most High. Go ahead.
And with earthquake.
Look what happened in the Dominican and Haiti. That earthquake, they still trying to recover from that. But because we will not come together, Simeon and Levi are what? Brethren. Because they ain't come together, the Most High sent earthquakes. Go ahead.
And great noise.
That boom you hear is the Most High telling you, y'all Negroes better get right. Go ahead.
With storm and tempest.
And with what?
with storm and tempest.
What happened in the Bahamas? That great storm, that tempest, that angry storm. Go ahead.
And the flame of devouring fire.
And the flame of devouring fire. I bet you California won't forget what happened to them. The Most High brought that fire, that storm. And guess what? They said the fire was so hot, it was melting metal. It was melting metal. All right? Give me Jeremiah 24:10. And this is what the Most High do, because we ain't trying to come together under his law, statutes, commandments, under the Isupk. The Most High said, choose thee this day to do good or evil. To do good is to keep the law, statutes, commandments. To do evil means not to do the law, statutes, commandments. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 24, verse 10. And I will send the sword.
It says, and I will what?
I will send the sword.
The Most High said he will send the sword. How does he send the sword? As police, as the so-called white man killing us in the street. Disease, pestilence, terrible storms, earthquakes. That's how the Most High sent the sword. Go ahead.
The famine.
The famine. The famine is talking about disease, no water to drink. Because we are not trying to follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. The Most High takes away the things that we necessarily need. Food, water, and shelter. By us being wicked, the Most High send those evil spirits to come and set us right, or to make us fear him so much we have to gather together. Go ahead.
And the pestilence.
And the pestilence. Man, how can you fight against a disease you can't even see? What happened to Ebola? Look, we got AIDS out here. And why? Because we want to follow after these other nations by being homosexuals. Go ahead.
Among them, till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers.
To be consumed off the land that he gave unto them, unto their fathers. Why do you think we're not in our land right now? Because we disobeyed the Most High law, statute, commandments. The Most High said for disobeying his law, statute, commandments, that what? He will put a foolish nation over us to oppress us, and what? We will die here in these streets. And with that, we are the Isupk coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana, to teach our people that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of God, are the 12 tribes, and that Christ is coming to raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. I am priest and officer of 1,000 Gabarda. I'm turning it over now to officer of 50, priest and officer of 50 Matazabah, and that's it.
Security announcements. We're the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced Mayashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we got the Memorial Blowing of Trumpets,
September the 28th, that Saturday. Remind Akim and Aguatim to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for Isupk events and materials. If the brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. That concludes the security announcements. And with that, we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the teacher. Then of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yashabata, Salah, which means turn to face the sister. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak, Yahweh Shema Al-Tham Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh, Shema, Al, Hadan, Ba'Shem, Yahushua.
Yes, good time. Class dismissed.